Welcome to 17 Random Questions with the Peen and me.
Hi.
17 random questions, Peen.
Yep.
Are
Let's
these going
get
to be...
started.
Oh, right, no fluffing around.
No, we're
Straight
getting
in there.
started.
Straight in there with number one.
How did you get your YouTube username?
We're British and we do vlogging.
Did Bean come up with this name?
Actually, that would be a name Peen came up with. No, I figured it would be good to maybe try and get... I thought there wasn't that many UK people doing it from England. And I thought it might be easier for the Americans to find us. If we had the Brit vlog, I mean, it's pretty obvious. The Brit vlog, we're Brits, we're doing vlogging. I can't make it any easier.
Well,
So that's how.
that's that really.
Done. Next question.
If you could change your name to anything, what would it be and why?
I can't say. Because it involves
Oh.
things.
Would you change your name?
No.
Do you like your name?
No.
It's a man of few words.
I'd change it if, like, I'm not that bothered. Nah.
Yeah.
Just a case of, like, I don't know. Can't imagine why I'd change it. Maybe if there was a witness and protection or something, I'd have to change it.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, I wouldn't change it. Would you choose yours, Penelope?
My name is not Penelope.
Oh, I thought that's what Penny was short for,
It's
Penelope.
just Penny.
Short for
Well,
Penelope.
Penny is a shortened version of
Oh,
Penelope,
so your name's Penelope?
but my name is not Penelope.
You sure it's not Penelope?
I am sure.
Penelope Pit Stop.
No,
Oh.
it's just Penny.
You tried to go for a pit stop, but you decided to park in the back of an Audi Q7, didn't you? Penelope Pit Stop.
That was not my fault. It was completely unavoidable.
Completely unavoidable.
It was. I was coming
All
down
I can
the
say
hill.
is 2 chevrons.
I was coming over the hill and they'd already crashed and it was raining. I slammed on my brakes, but it didn't quite stop.
Peen
in
wanted an
time.
extra close look at the crash, so decided to join in. Is what happened.
So I joined in on the back.
Silly Penelope Pit Stop.
That was yeah.
That was fun. She came home crying. Well, she just opened the door,
Story.
actually. She just opened the door, stood there and went, I had an accident! I was like, well, don't you wet yourself a little bit? They got outside, all the cars smashed up or
The
whatever.
car's ruined.
Police are driving off up the road because she's been breathalyzed because she's obviously been hysterical and looks like she was on the old juice.
I didn't cry until I came in through the door.
I've let the cat out back in its back.
But like the accident happened like literally 2 minutes away from our house. So one of the blokes that was in one of the other cars said that he'd follow me home. They both had big cars, so it was only my car that was like smashed up.
Yeah.
They just had like dented bumpers. So he said he'd follow me home because otherwise my car's just like stranded. There's no point like waiting 2 hours for recovery when it's only like down the road. And typically there's a police car that drives past the other way, sees me in this smashed up car, so decides to follow me home.
I think she's joyriding or
thinking
something.
that I'm just like randomly driving my car around like that. And then like they get here and find out that we've literally just had an accident and they're like, oh, alright then. But because they had followed us, they had to breathalyse both of us. Me and this other man, not him, he wasn't there.
I wasn't there because I can drive.
Oh, well, he was inside. But they just breathalyzed my Lucozade breath. Which was a 0.
That was funny.
I got to keep the little
A little tube thing.
tubey thing, and yeah, that was that. Completely nothing to do with changing my name.
No, but it was just a little story there.
I don't know, like, I wouldn't change my name. I've obviously had to change my surname through marriage, which was a major pain in the bum. So
I did agree.
I don't
Luckily,
think I'd change my name.
Luckily, I already had that name, so that's fine.
Yeah. But I think I always wanted to be called Lucy when I was little.
Lucy?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Lucy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see you as a Lucy. She was definitely quite Lucy when I met her.
Moving on. If you could go back in time and give your younger self some advice, what would it be and why?
Don't give Matthew £20,000.
And that's another story.
Yeah, we won't go into that. It depresses me.
It was a naughty man. It was a business venture.
A young, naive business venture. Ripped off. Lessons learned, etc. But there we go. Carry on, Peen. What is yours? What would you tell little Peen? If you could go back in the times. Obviously, I've also given the lottery numbers. No brain.
That's so like cliche.
But this makes sense.
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't have anything like finding me earlier, so you could be with me longer.
I think I would probably try and advise
That was a no.
little Peen or younger Peen about some like parenting issues.
Parenting issues, yeah. That would be a good thing, yeah.
Yeah. Not my parenting, because I'm sure we'll be great.
Sort of like, would you just give us some emancipation forms?
But when I had some issues through adolescence with my parents, namely one parent, probably just give Peen some advice about that, because it was
horrific.
It was a tough time.
It was a tough time for little Peen and little Adam.
Yeah.
So.
But it's all fine now.
It's all fine.
It's just good. Well, we're fine.
We're fine.
We're happy. It's a happier time. It's a genuine smile.
What? Oh well.
Number 4.
Number 4.
How old were you? How would you know this? How old were you when you first learned to blow a bubblegum bubble?
No, that is an interesting question. That question. Because I saw people as a kid, and I was like, how do they do that? And you try them for ages, and you're all like, did like the manual bit first. You like get a little thing spread out, and they take it out of your mouth, and then be like, and try and make a bubble, and then eventually after trying, after a few weeks and whatever, and then you make that first bubble, and you're like, bubble! It was fun. I reckon. I was quite old. I reckon because I was never really allowed chewing gum and things. So I reckon about 13, 14 maybe.
Really, that's quite old.
Yeah, I don't really had chewing gum before. Not really chewing gum, sort of. I don't really like it. It makes me hungry.
There was a phase when I first knew you, you always had gum.
Yeah, there was. I did go through a gum
Not
phase.
Gum, but
no, just normal gum. I did
you
go
had
through a phase.
a little pot and you had loads of it all the time. You always had gum.
Yeah, I went through a phase. That's probably what broke my jaw. But no, not anymore. It didn't last long.
I think I probably was around 7 or 8-ish. Probably.
Classy upbringing. Chewing gum
And
at
then
7.
you get them little packs of Hubba Bubba and it's like bright pink. It's very attractive to children.
I never got exposed to it. Nobody I knew in the family when I was younger did it. I think Mum had some occasionally, but I was never...
Do you not go down the shops though and then you just see it yourself, don't you?
Yeah, but I'd probably stuff my face with chocolate or something. Don't know. Not something I got exposed to.
I got some hair caught in it and then it's like...
Yeah, that sounds like something you'd do.
Yeah.
Because being like... Oh, no! Yeah, I can see you doing that.
I've had bubblegum for years.
No, same. It's crap because you're like, so tasty. Stop. Oh, God.
The Tutti Frutti chewing gum's the same.
Yeah.
That flavour lasts for about 2 seconds. We're at number 5. What did you want to be when you were little?
What did I want to be when I was little? Big. Fair enough. I don't know, what job did I want to do? Well, I don't know. I first originally thought I wanted to get into theatre technical stuff, being sound engineer, lighting and stuff like that. My dad did sound engineer stuff. But then I sort of just got nudged into computers and did that. It's one of the things, I had the knack. Just sort of fell into that career path, really. It's not what I want to do, but that's what I ended up doing.
Oh. Do you not have any like little boyhood fireman?
I don't know, probably. Sort of looks in it.
Mm.
They're all the same in there. I want to be a fireman, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a jet fighter or something, I don't know. I honestly can't remember. Cool. Yeah, I quite liked the idea of flying, but unfortunately I don't have the maths for that. I do like flying, that would have been nice. No math skills though. What about you, Pete? What did you want to be? Did you want to be Barbie?
No, I wasn't really into Barbie.
Did you want to be Thomas the Tank Engine?
No.
Oh, what did you want to be?
A ballerina! No.
Oh, really?
No. I think probably I wanted to be like a vet or something with animals.
Oh, vet, right, yeah.
You don't really think it through though, because then it's not really that. It's not just like you get to play with animals all day. That's probably what I thought at the time when I wanted to be a vet.
You get to play with evil animals.
Yeah, it's quite a hard job. Although probably if I had been a vet, I'd have get more money than I get now.
Yeah, you made some serious mistakes along the way.
And then, so that was probably like my little girl thing. And then when I started thinking about it more seriously, I decided I wanted to be a teacher. I went through 4 years of university, got my teaching degree, qualified primary teacher, not teaching.
I just say the whole way through this I've said you're not going to be a teacher, you're not actually going to go through with this. What is the point? You're wasting time. Oh, I'm going to be a teacher. Oh look, you're not teaching, you don't want to teach because it's a load of crap.
I really, I did want to teach. I spent basically my whole education was sort of geared up to getting this teaching degree. I got it. Then I couldn't find a job, and it was very depressing.
I think you would have loved it if it was teaching 20 years ago, but teaching these days is 90% filling out forms, doing bureaucracy and politics and crap, and then 1% of actual teaching, which is oh, hell no.
It is. I'm still sad that I'm not teaching.
You can't, it's not, maybe you'll do it at some point.
Yeah, I've got the degree. All you have to do if you did go back into it is do refresher or do some hands-on thing and get more experience of recent curriculums and everything. So I've got it. I'm still sad that I didn't do it, but I don't think I would go back into it now.
No, but this way you get to sort of bring up your child yourself.
Yeah, I'm quite happy. I mean, I don't, as much as I moan about
what? Hold on, you don't moan.
That side of it, the vans and stuff, is not brilliant. But there are some bits, it's alright. It's not the worst job in the world. But I like the side of it. I get the flexibility with the flowers. That's nice. I enjoy that. Hopefully that'll continue to grow and everything. And I get to spend time with my baby.
Is that half
so it's good. No.
Oh.
This again. What is the obsession, people? What do you order at Starbucks?
I think maybe just the rest of the planet goes to Starbucks and we don't.
Are we missing something here?
Well, I've been a couple of times and it's just a bloody hot chocolate. It's not amazing.
A hot chocolate. You can get
it's
the
an
same
expensive hot
in
chocolate.
Dunelm or something.
And you go there. Do you want a grande, a venti, or whatever?
Just
I'm just give me a big one or a small one.
Size.
Oh, big or small, but yeah,
just
regular.
Small. Why can't you call it normal sizes, people?
No one gives a crap about your stupid
don't understand.
pretend.
We're not in the Starbucks world.
No, it's stupid.
What's the hardest that you have ever laughed?
When I saw your sunburnt face. No. No. The hardest. There's funny things of situations where I shouldn't have laughed. I don't know the hardest I've ever laughed. I can't imagine it was some random thing.
Mm.
But the two funny things are the one when we went on holiday. We sailed across to where did we go? Cherbourg from Poole on Dad's boat, and Peen doesn't get on with boats.
No, we discovered that.
We discovered that. For the 7 hours it took.
Sorry, battery ran out. Because he talked too much.
Back.
So yes, it wasn't 7 hours.
So it wasn't 7 hours. It was 17 hours. And for those 17 hours, Peen was sick for roughly 16 and a half of them. Literally hanging over the side, doing like this. And then eventually, this is the worst thing, like, it's just dry retching, there's nothing to come up, so she was just going constantly.
There's nothing.
And then
It's gone.
when she wasn't being sick, she was led out on deck, and nobody thought really, because didn't want to wake her or anything, because she was obviously, if you're not being sick and you're asleep, you know, sleeping is better than being sick. So there was no suntan cream on the Peen.
And you can see I'm a very tanned person.
Yeah. So, like, you didn't see anything that day, so we went to bed when we got there, wherever it was night time anyway when we got into port. And if you imagine, like, sort of half-faced Phantom of the Opera mask, we were lying in bed in the morning, and I saw her, and Peen was there, she looked fine. I was like, hi, morning Peen, morning Peen. I was like, you're right. And she got up and turned around, and I was just like, and like this side of her face had puffed up to like twice the size. It was like half massive blistery stroke huge puffiness, and she was like, ugh. And
One
eye was all like, ugh.
My eye was swollen.
I could barely open it, and I was like, whoa! He was like, what? I was like, find the mirror, love. She looked and she was like, ah!
It was awful.
It was awful. Also hilarious. But also awful. We felt bad, but it was hilarious. Like
I couldn't brush my hair because I was all burnt.
It was like,
I couldn't lie on that side and like in bed.
It was horrible, but also hilarious.
It was horrible. The reason I was asleep so much is, did you know, seasickness tablets are actually just sleeping tablets.
They don't actually help with seasickness, they just make you sleep.
Yeah.
So,
Didn't find this out until after.
And to be fair I mean, this woman has some balls. She went through all this, and she rejected the offer to go back on the ferry, and she did it all again on the way back. Even I was a little bit sick on the way back, and I've never been seasick before. I mean, I've been brought up my whole life on boats, and I've never been seasick. But then I think that was something to do with the warm UHT milk and Cocoa Pops. And then sloshing around, and I was like, oh, that was a mistake. Warm UHT. Oh, that was horrible. The other time, which was hilarious, was Peen. I don't know what she was doing, but for some reason, like, she was on the landing and I was coming out of the office, and she was leaning on the side of the door frame. Now,
just talking.
At this point, I was coming out, so I was shutting the door of the office. So, I was coming out, I'm like shutting the door, and it wouldn't shut. It was like stuck, so I was like, you know, pulling it, because it wouldn't stuck, because it was stuck and it wouldn't close. For some reason, the one time in Peen's life ever, she decided to become a mute. And I looked round, and I don't see anyone screaming or shouting. All I see is Peen attached to a door frame, doing some sort of weird dance. And I'm like, what are you doing? And her fingers in the door frame, which is why it wouldn't shut, because I'm like squidging her finger into the door. So then I looked around and she came us out, and it was just like a kid when you see when they fall over. She took out this thing, was dancing, went. I just started bursting out crying. So I take her over to the sink, and I'm literally. I'm dying of laughter inside. And she's all like, and the tap was like bleeding a bit, like you see some bone on there. And after I just gave up and just like literally ruffled on the
laughing.
floor. I mean,
my blood was still dripping.
It was the funniest thing in the world. Everyone else would just be like, that's bloody hurt, screaming profanity. But Peen's just silently doing some sort of weird interpretive dance that I'm meant to like understand that she's in pain, instead of actually going, ow, my finger was in the door frame, stop trying to close the door.
Oh, you're making
So that was probably one time I laughed quite hard.
And still do.
I still do. That was hilarious. What was the best time you laughed the most, Pete?
I don't know.
You don't know. No, it's hard.
Actually, I know
she knows.
one thing, right? When I was still at home with my parents, we had a cat called Rosie, and she was fat. That didn't have anything to do with the story, but she was a fat cat. And there was like a carrier bag, and she managed to get her back foot stuck in this carrier bag handle, and then like obviously moved, and the bag rattled or rustled, and it freaked her out. So she started racing around the room, and this bag was stuck on her foot, so it was following her, so she kept racing around.
That sounds hilarious.
That was so funny.
That's funny just even imagining it.
Trying to get away from it, but it's on her. That was funny. And another cute thing with our cat, when he had his operation, and he had a little bandage on.
It's a bright pink bandage, considering it's a boy cat.
Very cute.
It's a bit harsh.
It was bright pink with paws on it.
Yeah.
And it was on his leg where they'd shaved for the anaesthetic. And he came, like, he was a bit woozy at first, so he was quite happy with it for about an hour or so. And then he sort of realised it was on there, and he wanted it off. And then he and he was like,
He kept shaking it really fast like this. He like tugged at it for a bit, and then was like, kept trying to shake it, and it's like sticky, it ain't going anywhere. He's just sitting there waving his
that
arm
was
around.
funny.
That was brilliant. Oh dear.
Bless his heart.
Is that halfway, P?
We've got one more.
I think we'll call it halfway there because that was quite long. So that'll be part 1. So see you for part 2.